We stand now where two roads diverge. The road we have long been traveling is deceptively easy, a smooth superhighway on which we progress with great speed. But at its end lies disaster. The other fork of the road, the one less traveled by, offers our only chance to reach the destination that assures the preservation of our Earth. The choice, after all, is ours to make.
Chemical control. In chapter 17, it talks about different types of chemicals that we use to get rid of insects. And it goes into detail about two specific kinds that are sterilants. There is an anti-metabolic sterilant, and they are the kind that when an insect consumes it in their body, it mistakes it as a cell or a tissue that stops their metabolism, and it makes them think it's food, but when it's processed it just kills them. And then the second type of sterilant is called a chemosterilant, and what it does is it affects the genes and the chromosomes in the bug, and it breaks them up and just makes them defective and mutates them, and then eventually they become so retarded that they can't live anymore. They all just die. And it's bad because obviously if a chemical like that can do that to a bug, then what else is it doing that to?
Biological control. Eli Metchnikoff studied microbial control as a form of biological control. He discovered that when Bacillus thuringiensis was coated on foliage that Japanese beetles consumed, it acted as a poison by paralyzing them and causing it to stop feeding, leaving them to die. This is safe because this is a bacteria, not a chemical, that is unable to affect humans. This was also tested in Vermont, and the end results were just as good as DDT, proving that bacterial control is safer and a cheaper route to take. In 1933, screwworm flies were causing the livestock industry of southeastern states annual losses of $20 million. How a screwworm achieves this is by laying their eggs in open wounds of the livestock. When the eggs hatch, they become parasitic and feed off the flesh of its host, causing infections, thus causing the livestock to die.
So, to fix the screwworm problem, Dr. Knipling came up with a method to control the population of them. His idea was to sterilize the males and then release them into the highly populated areas of the screwworms so that they would procreate together and make infertile eggs, which thus would slowly kill the population. They tested this in Florida in about 1954, and in 7 weeks the population had almost completely wiped out, which was a great thing for the livestock farms and proved that you don't need chemicals to get rid of unwanted insects, that there are biological ways to do it that would not harm other animals or people, and it would save a lot of money instead of having to test and come up with chemicals to kill them. Even though chemicals would probably have gotten it done in 7 hours, 7 weeks is still a good amount of time to get rid of them, especially when it comes with a lot less cons and a lot more pros.
In APES right now, thanks to Denise Litt, we are learning about sustainable environments, and of course, that is clearly better for our future. And to create a more sustainable environment, we have to have environmental friendly ways to approaching things, and biological control is a more environmentally friendly means to chemical control.
In relation to the government, it is cheaper for the government to continue using biological control, seeing as the study, research, and testing of chemicals is just really costly, and we understand biological control better than we do chemicals. And it would just make more sense, seeing as we are heading towards a more environmentally friendly goal as policies are being made towards that. And it's something that Obama does value. And in relation to media, back then when DDT came out, they said that it was okay, it wasn't harmful, it's not a big deal, but turns out they were very wrong. And that's an example of something that could happen again if we were to release another type of chemical that we think is safe, and it turns out in a couple years that it's deforming babies. So it's important that we stick to biological control because it's safer, cheaper, and it's just
Makes
better.
the world go round. Okay. If you're paying any attention at all, biological control gang or die!
Drop that